This is the ReVolt Bass from 2 Notes Audio. And y'all, this is a pretty killer preamp pedal complete with 3 channels, all analog circuitry, and some really killer features on top of that too. So I don't really have a whole lot of experience with 2 Notes Audio, but I know they make some awesome pedals like the Cab M, as well as the Torpedo pedals, and more like that, but it's something that I'm really excited to see that they're doing something like preamp pedals now. And I have to say that this one is particularly fantastic. But before we dig into the ReVolt Bass, and for the sake of transparency, this video is sponsored by 2 Notes Audio. But of course, as with every other video that's sponsored on my channel, that has absolutely no effect on how I feel, what I say, or what I play either. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So despite all the things that the ReVolt Bass does, the actual front panel is super simple and straightforward, which I love. Essentially what you have here is 3 channels, as well as a couple extra features on top of that to boot. Where you have the 3 channels, it can go from super clean, very full, all the way to a very modern, punchy, super thick drive bass sound. Starting with the left side for your first channel, you have Classic Clean, which just gives you a very full and straightforward bass tone that sounds very warm and extremely crisp. Then on top of that, your controls for this channel are 2 EQ knobs of bass and treble, as well as gain and volume. Then we move over to the other 2 channels where you have your vintage dirt and modern drive channels. Both of these channels have their own independent gain and volume control, but they share a 3-band EQ of bass, mid, and treble, as well as an overall blend switch that goes from dry to wet, which of course, as a bass player, when I see any sort of blend knob, mwah! Thank you so much. I feel that the vintage dirt channel is really the MVP of this pedal. It has such a very full, punchy, and extremely crisp and warm sound to it that sounds both vintage but modern, if that makes sense. Essentially something where it just has an overall fantastic, very classic, but very full and modern sounding tone, if that makes any sense at all. Basically, if I was in a live situation, I would use the vintage dirt for everything 100% as my regular bass tone, and then add all my other effects on top of that. Because you can get either a really nice subtle saturation with a nice little bit of breakup, or you can go ahead and have it be really thick and super full too. And then the modern drive channel brings you exactly that, a very modern drive sort of sound, where it's full and very much in your face. But of course, you don't have to worry about that low end being lost because of that 3-band EQ, as well as your blend knob too. Then when you go to the bottom of the pedal, you see some more features such as the 4-cable mode, which essentially turns the ReVolt Bass into your amp's new preamp while using the power amp of your amp already. And then next to that, there's cab simulation, as well as auxiliary in and headphone out too. Then at the top of the pedal, you'll see your input and output, as well as your send and return for your effects loop, and then your MIDI in and out, as well as a balance out too. So for the pros on the ReVolt Bass, I really enjoyed my time really going into this pedal and seeing seeing what tones worked and what didn't. And I have to say, there are so many versatile sounds inside of this simple 3-channel preamp that sounds so fantastic to my ears. And then of course, on top of great sounds, you get some really cool features such as cab simulation, that MIDI in and out, being able to use the 4-cable method, which is just so cool and different to me. And then on top of that too, you have that auxiliary in and then headphone out too. And then for the cons on the ReVolt Bass, I really have to say, I wish there was more than just one cab simulation option. Really, if there could be like 2 or 3, that would be so awesome. Or really where I could just change it myself on the pedal. But again, it's an analog pedal, so it kind of changes things where you're not able to get the full array of things that I think you would, because you don't have that digital option to be able to store different cab simulations on top of that. And then finally, I feel like there's going to be quite a few people that don't really care for the modern drive tone that you get out of it. It's a distortion tone, yes, but it's weird because it's sort of fizzy in a way. I don't know if that's really the right way to put it, but it's different, and not in a bad way. It's just completely different than what I'm used to, but it sounds really good, especially in different mixes in my opinion. But of course, let me know what you guys think about the ReVolt Bass and what else you're excited to see come out in 2023. I think there's gonna be a lot of really cool basses and effects that come out, and I'm really excited to see what I'm actually able to get my hands on. But thank y'all so much for watching, as always, for watching, subscribing, commenting, sharing my videos, follow me on social media, all that crazy stuff. Thank y'all so much. And of course, a humongous thank you to my Patreon supporters right over here. Mwah. Mwah. If you want to be like one of these gorgeous people right here and help support the channel every single month, then head on over to my Patreon page. But y'all, one more time, thank you so much for watching. As always, I truly do appreciate it. And of course, no matter where in the world you are, stay safe, practice that bass, go get a dumb tattoo. Everyone needs dumb tattoos, why not? And I'll see y'all next time.